Hi, welcome to the Nary Show. I'm your L7 movie guy, PR Marks. This is the recommendation show for all your streaming services and reviews. Let's get started. First up we have is a horror movie starring Ethan Hawke called Black Phone. This is about a 13-year-old, shy but clever boy that is held against his will in a basement by a serial child killer. And a disconnected black phone on the wall ghostly starts to ring, which helps him hear voices from previous victims in order for him to escape. But will these ghostly voices help him escape? Or will it be too late?
We're too late.
Now this film is set in the late 70s and you really feel it through the wardrobe and the production design, as well as the cinematography, which actually had that grainy look to it, especially for certain moments in the film and edit cuts. I also noticed the writing and dialogue in this film really made you feel like you're living in that era. Whether it was cuss words or slang words, it just fits so well throughout the movie. The acting in this one was actually pretty good. I felt that Ethan Hawke's character was definitely creepy and uncomfortably eerie as our villain. But our kid actors and characters were probably the major standouts in this one. They just felt real and they carried the majority of the movie. Especially the sister character, because she kicked so much ass, she was funny, and you really were rooting for her to succeed in her part of the story.
Sis! Oh, sis!
In the end, though, I felt like this wasn't as crazy as I wanted it to be or as scary as I wanted it to be because of the fact that it had a rated R rating. I also think that the ghost-like element in this film was a complete utter waste of time and they should have just stuck with a basic serial killer escape movie. So I'm going to have to give this one a nay. But for our audience thumb scale, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Second up we have is the rapper Eminem and his documentary called Stans. Basically, this is about a couple different things, but the gist of it is about Eminem and his lyrics and the effect that he had on people, and overall, like his rise from battle rapper to superstar. Then there's the other side of the documentary, where it's about the Eminem fans and that are being interviewed, and by loose definition, called stans, and how their obsession with Eminem got them through some tough times. And basically nothing else matters but Eminem and how important he is to these stans.
Maybe more important. No, as important.
Now, I wouldn't say I'm a crazy Eminem fan or like an obsessed Eminem fan or anything like that, but I do enjoy his music and I own some of his albums, so I guess I'm considered like a normal fan. The one thing that stood out to me was the nostalgia moments of this documentary. And what I mean by that is that I remember where I was when that music video came out. Hi, my name is. I was in middle school, so that was pretty cool. Also, too, I remember the albums and when they came out and like where I was when I purchased them and how certain of my friends were like obsessed with him as well. He was kind of a phenomenon when I was growing up. It was pretty cool to see like recaps of all this stuff. At least to a certain point of his career that I can remember.
I want to go back to a simpler time.
The interviews with these fans, or I should say stans, was pretty interesting. They could be inspiring, they could be sad, but also kind of like weird because of how obsessed they were with Eminem. And what I mean by that is that I feel like these stans, they never met Eminem, but they were so obsessed with him and they used his lyrics and his points of his career to kind of relate to him and get through some tough times, which was kind of inspiring. But I just felt like it was almost like a little depressing and almost like I wanted to say get a life, which gives this documentary a lot of heart and sympathy for these fans, and we made it for an interesting watch.
Can I get your autograph?
Overall, I feel like this was made for Eminem fans or people that want to know about Eminem in general and his career, or it's a good watch for anybody that grew up during that time frame when Eminem started at one point and see where he is now. It definitely is a blast from the past. So I'm going to have to give this one a yay. Definitely a yay. But for the thumbs audience scale, I have to give it a 2 out of 5. Now I want to take a quick break and talk about a movie I watched for my friends and their kids. And I want to give a recommendation because I think, everybody in the household deserves a recommendation. And I have a lot of friends that have kids. So, this one's called K-Pop Demon Hunter. It seems to be very popular right now. And so I took the time to watch it. And let me say, this was actually a big surprise. Sure, the songs are cringe and the voices don't fit the voices when they're talking normally with each other compared to their singing voices, but the animation's really good. It reminded me of Spider-Man a little bit. Also, it was surprisingly funny and very entertaining, and I think it's it has a good message overall. So I'm gonna have to give this a definite recommendation for any household that has kids. This is a fun time. I was actually shocked. I was gonna think I was gonna hate this one, but besides the music, I think this was a lot of fun and a good time for the whole family. Last up we have is a Western starring Christian Bale called Hostiles. This is about an army captain that regrettably agrees to take a dying war chief and his family across country to their tribal land, embarking on a harrowing journey through the gracelands of Montana. Now they must band together to survive the punishing landscapes that are crawling with Comanches and outlaws.
I'm a motherfucking outlaw.
The production as a whole in this one definitely shows its value. Anywhere from the wardrobe all the way to the cinematography. It was on point. It definitely gave you the feeling that you were living in that time frame. Especially when they had these amazing wide shots when they were just riding horses and you just see the beautiful landscape in the background. It was just so cool to look at.
Man, isn't this romantic? Just look at that sunset.
Now the acting in this one was pretty fantastic actually. Everybody played their role so well, I thought, to a T. The only thing I thought was wrong with this film was the overall writing of the story and what was the drive for the story. Because it started off so savage that I just wanted to see more of what I just got from the beginning. And then from there, it kind of just has a lot of moments where it kind of just drags on. And whenever you had these exciting moments, it just felt like there was just such a break that you're just waiting for something more exciting to happen, which then just killed the overall pacing of the film.
Pick up the pace, people!
With that being said, I felt like this one wasn't up to the standards of Western films like Tombstone, Wild Bill, or Unforgiven, which are easy scapegoats. But the easiest fix for this film could have been just more shootouts, more crazy scenes. I just felt like it just dragged on a lot in certain moments. So I'm going to give this one an A. But for the audience thumb scale, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Well, that's all the time we have. As always, click that like and subscribe button. And if you like any of the movies we discussed, please leave a comment down below. Have a good weekend, and may the movies be with you. Lates.